The O'Reilly Auto Parts series does it again and proves just exactly why it's the best series in NASCAR. Hello, everybody. My name is Brody. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series had a showdown in the desert at Phoenix Raceway, and I am so excited to break this race down with you all because I honestly think this might be one of the best Phoenix Raceway races I have seen in a very, very long time. I know Phoenix Raceway gets a bad rap, mostly because of recency bias with the next gen car and the season finale being mostly stale letdowns in a sense for most NASCAR fans, but that is no more with the O'Reilly Parts race we just got. So stick around. We're going to break it all down right here, right now. Get into the race winner, all the action, the race results, my drivers of the day, and my what the F driver of the day following that. And we'll break it down finally with my final opinions. So let's get right into it. We're going to get straight into the race winner, and it is a familiar name, especially at Phoenix Raceway. It is Justin Allgaier, the 39-year-old veteran of the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, gets the victory in the number 7 Junior Motorsports Brandt Agriculture Chevy Camaro. And this isn't your standard Justin Allgaier dominating Phoenix race win. No, this was adversity filled to the max. We're going to get all into how he won this race very shortly, but we got to start from the beginning, work our way to the end, and then we'll touch back in on Justin Allgaier to wrap it up. But let's get started with the actual race start. The start of the race featured Taylor Gray in the number 54 alongside Jesse Love in the number 2, and we saw Jesse Love assume the lead early. It was a battle between Joe Gibbs Racing, Junior Motorsports, and RCR. Throughout stage 1, Jesse Love looks like he's going to get the stage victory, but out of nowhere, Sammy Smith in number 8 closes in, takes the lead, and wins stage 1. Very, very impressive to run down Jesse Love in the closing laps, but nonetheless, Sammy Smith gets a very impressive stage 1 victory. In that stage 1, we saw Justin Allgaier start from 17th and make his way all the way inside the top 5. On the first pit stops of the day, we see Corey Day slide through his pit box and he loses a bunch of spots, which really put him behind the 8 ball early on. Stage 2 was really quite simple. Jesse Love led from the start all the way to the end. Just absolutely dominated stage 2. Gets the victory, but we did see some great racing throughout the field in stage 1 and in stage 2, and it only continued on into stage 3. On the pit stops after stage 2, we saw Justin Allgaier have an issue on pit road, something to do with the tire, but regardless, it puts him back in the 20s on the stage 3 start, really setting him back. Stage 3 was where the racing really picked up. We saw some different players emerge at the front. Jesse Love takes control of the race like he did earlier, but then Carson Kvapil in the number 1 Junior Motorsports car takes the lead around lap 67, and then shortly after this, we see Jeremy Clements break into the top 5 just on raw speed. No tire advantage, nothing. Jeremy Clements on raw speed breaks into the top 5, and he was in the top 10 most of the day, so that was awesome to see. The Haas factory cars looked very fast, and we see Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer pass Jesse Love, so they assume 2nd and 3rd place. We get some green flag pit stops, which shakes up the running order just a bit. Carson Kvapil, who opened up a 3-second lead on the field, loses the lead under green flag pit stops to Sheldon Creed. But LeVar Scott spins, bringing out a caution, the first caution for incident all day long. On the ensuing restart, we see great chemistry between Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed, who execute a perfect restart, push Carson Kvapil back, and they assume the front 2 positions. But that didn't last too long because we got our first big crash of the day, our only big crash of the day, where Brandon Jones didn't know he had Sammy Smith to his inside, clears himself, and makes a mid-lazy spin in the center of the track, and here comes his teammates. Taylor Gray pounds him, William Sawalich pounds him, William Byron gets damaged, and Blaine Perkins gets damaged as well. We go back racing, and it's the same story up front. Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, And here comes Justin Allgaier and the number 7, passes 5th, passes 4th, passes 2nd, and runs down Jesse Love to pass him to take the lead in the closing laps and leads the final 11 laps of the race. And Justin Allgaier wins at Phoenix. Just an incredible drive from Justin Allgaier from start to finish. He started 17th, made his way into the top 5, kind of fell back a little bit in stage 2, had a horrible pit stop. Then the lights went on, the sun went down, and that's where Justin Allgaier is at his best, when the lights are the brightest. And he persevered, came back from 20th place on back, worked his way up, used the cautions to his advantage, and he made the pass for the lead with arguably the best car of the race. Showed no mistakes that final run. So impressive. An impressive stat also is this is his 10th consecutive winning season in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, which is the most all time. Here are my drivers of the day, and Carson Kvapil has to be my first mention. He led 22 laps on the day, and for a driver who is not known to be great at Phoenix, he sure showed up and showed out. I thought he was going to win and drive away with the victory. Late race cautions didn't really work in his favor, got swallowed up on the ensuing restarts, but he did make an impressive showing with his father on top of the pit box. I loved seeing that. Carson Kvapil, the win is coming. It is going to come fast. Very impressed with this young man, with having a weird, interesting schedule where he has to split his time between DGM and Junior Motorsports, but he did put on a great showing, and he puts himself in a very good spot in the points. Next is Jeb Burton, who posted the fastest practice time in the O'Reilly Auto Parts only practice session at Phoenix. I was like, okay, where's the speed coming from? And he didn't fall back like I thought he would. He stayed up in there. He was in the top 10 for most of the day and gets himself a nice top 10 to finish off the race. Just a feel-good story all around. And all these drivers of the day are feel-good stories. Rajah Caruth, he was a lap down at one point, running in the 32 Jordan Anderson car, not in the 88 car. Finishes in the top 10 after going lap down, having adversity of his own. Great finish for Rajah Caruth. And Jeremy Clements. Where the hell did Jeremy Clements come from with that raw speed? That speed, he was up there the whole night. He finishes 11th. He should have finished maybe inside the top 5. He got in the top 5 in stage 2, I believe, by himself on raw speed, no tire advantage, nothing. Pure driving ability and horsepower in that Chevy Camaro. Awesome to see. I love seeing all these guys up there. It was such a feel-good top 10 all round. It was awesome to see. So those are my drivers of the day. And it's time for my What the F driver of the race. And this time it's a feel-good story. This was between this driver and Jeremy Clements. And just because of the adversity he's had throughout the year, I have to give it to Anthony Alfredo and the number 96, who didn't even qualify this car for the race at Daytona. He got DQ'd. He didn't make it on speed. Insane. He was in the Daytona 500, locked himself in, gets booted out because his car failed post-race tech. Had a horrible Atlanta, and he was just involved in so many incidents early on in the season. Had so much adversity. We really didn't know what this number 96 car was capable of, but I still think he's out driving that equipment, no doubt. He finishes 10th at Phoenix, where it was the first real NASCAR track. You could say COTA is the real start to the season because it's not a drafting track, but Phoenix is a real, NASCAR feel oval where the season really starts for most of the drivers in their eyes. Anthony Alfredo shows up, balls out, gets himself a top 10. Super happy for him. That must feel super good. Another feel-good story for my drivers of the day and my What the F driver of the day. So congrats to Anthony Alfredo for the top 10. Let's look at your finishing results. I didn't include Jesse Love on my drivers of the day, but he was an honorable mention for sure. He's just in a really fast car, and we honestly expect him to do these types of races. He led 114 laps out of the 200 laps in this race, had the best car, was the most dominant throughout the day. Just comes up a little bit short. He was very hard on himself in his post race interview, which I completely understand. You're out there going for wins. You know you got the fastest car. Just didn't work out, but he should be very happy with the stage win and the results because it's very solid in the points. Should be very proud of himself. The Haas cars finish fourth and fifth, respectively. They each led a handful of laps, 20 and 11 apiece. They looked very strong, and I did not expect this raw speed early out the gates for Haas factory team. I thought it would take a little bit of a transition to get used to the Chevy Camaro. I was wrong. Sheldon Creed gets a win, and they're up here battling inside the top five. Sammy Smith, who won stage one, kind of faded a little bit. Most of the Junior Motorsports car kind of faded on in stage two, especially. Still finishes sixth place. He really impressed me in that stage one. I thought he would be up there contending with Jesse Love for the win. Didn't really work out, but still a sixth place finish is pretty solid. Corey Day bounces back from a rough couple of starts at Atlanta and Coda and even Daytona, but he finishes with an uneventful top 10 in ninth place. Slid through his pit box, lost a bunch of spots, was kind of hovering around 15th to 10th all day, finishes ninth. Very well done. Happy for Corey. William Byron in the number 88 got damage, but really was never in contention for the win. He was kind of like the third, fourth, fifth fastest car most of the night. Got damage in that William Sawalich, Brandon Jones incident. Still finishes 13th. Taylor Gray, your pole sitter, finishes 15th with damage, so that's pretty impressive. Shout out Brent Cruz, was in the top five most of the night. Really did impress me yet again. The young star himself. 18th place finish, probably not what he wanted, but pretty solid start to the season, I must say. And shout out Chandler Smith, who made this one-off O'Reilly Auto Parts start in the number 5. 21st place, not too bad. It's not the most competitive car in the world, but he still nets himself a 21st place finish, getting some reps in the O'Reilly series. Happy to see that. Harrison Burton, who needed a good points night, did not really get it. Finishes 23rd. I thought that team would have a lot more speed than what we're seeing thus far. Maybe they can turn around hopefully soon, but Harrison Burton not starting off the season very well. One last notable is Nick Sanchez had a power issue early in stage one. I think he just got laps down and just never was able to recover, probably dealing with some power issues most of the night after that initial blip early in stage one. So he finishes 35th, not great. And then William Sawalich ended up DNFing due to his damage in that big wreck. Now it's time for my overall opinions of the race. I gotta be honest. The O'Reilly series has always been my favorite series because the car is what a stock car is. It's perfect. I love this car. NASCAR, do not change this car. It put on a great, great show. Phoenix has a bad rap. The next gen car doesn't race well. So most of the fans view Phoenix as a trash track. When in reality, it's not. It's an average track that is unique in its own right with the dog leg and the different turns in each part of the track. I think it's a pretty unique track. I've been there. The racing's not amazing, but here is the O'Reilly series putting on an absolute show, really from start to finish, and stage 3 was absolute cinema. We saw 3 wide, not only on the restarts, but laps after the restarts. Like, it was crazy, hectic throughout. If you haven't watched this race, I really encourage you at least go watch the highlights because it really does show that it's mostly the car that hinders the racing at certain types of tracks. Phoenix, bad rap most of the time, but O'Reilly Auto Parts series shows up and puts on a show. I was super happy to see it. We're not going to get that with the Cup series. Obviously, I don't think the 750 horsepower is going to do too much It will make it a little bit better, probably, but we won't see anything like what we saw with the O'Reilly Auto Parts race. Great racing, great respectable racing. No takeouts, no crashing outs like of the heads of drivers. It was calm, cool, collective. Really glad to see that throughout the field. Very mature driving, and the veteran ends up winning it over the young Jesse Love in the end, using his Phoenix amazing abilities and prowess, using all of his knowledge to his benefit and to his team's benefit. He gets that impressive win. Super happy to see it. Great racing overall. If I had to rate this, especially on a Phoenix level, I would give it a 9, 9.5. Honestly, you can't get much better out of a Phoenix race because the track, like I said, it's like an average racetrack. But this car, these drivers put on a freaking show. Super happy to see it. Well, that's my opinions of the race. I want to know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Share your thoughts. Could be anything. Could be about any driver, any incident, any racing moment. I love to hear it. Or your overall thoughts on the track itself. Let's hear it down below in the comments. I'd really appreciate if you guys could leave a like or even subscribe. It would mean so much to me as a aspiring YouTuber. It really motivates me to see you guys subscribe and like and engage in the videos because I do work really hard on them, and it would mean a lot for me to see you guys engaging with the video and we can talk together as race fans, because that's why I made this channel, is to connect to race fans like you guys. So let's see it in the comments, and hopefully I get to see you guys in more videos in the future. I'll be covering NASCAR all season long, so I hope to see you there. And as always, guys, have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.